Welcome back to Palm, everybody. If you've heard the most recent episode, we were talking about...
It's 5 o'clock in the morning somewhere.
Huh?
It's 5 o'clock in the morning somewhere.
If you've heard in the last episode that we posted, we were talking about how the new generation doesn't really want to fucking do anything anymore. And made me think about it. And I was like, what was some of the stupid shit that we did when we were kids? So...
A lot.
Yeah, and that's what I want to talk about today. Like, because you were ranting off on one of your employees, I guess I should say, not wanting to do the stuff he's told.
Yeah.
But I was like, man, what is some of the stuff that our parents would get on our asses about? Like, you better not be doing this, or you better not be doing that. So let's talk about that. Besides getting tattoos.
Well, we'll start off with number one. My mom said don't smoke weed, and so, you know. But anyways.
As the story goes, he never stopped.
Bro, yeah, and it's weird because it's the whole thing.
Legend has it, he's still doing it to this day.
And then you just hear...
Well, it was just annoying because, like, once you're 30, you know, your parents are more accepting at that time. They're like, he's a grown-ass dude. So, like,
well, here,
now I get stupid high.
What I think it is, honestly, is that your parents just give up on telling you not to.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, like at this point, she's my mom's like, yeah, just don't get too crazy.
Oh, you guys are going to be parents. Are you going to turn into that too?
What?
I talked about that with my wife.
Yeah, same. I was like, if my kid wants tattoos, who am I to tell him no?
Yeah.
Darlene's over here fucking saying, it's like, why do you want to why are you going to let him have tattoos? I'm like, because I got one when I was in high school. What's wrong with him getting one?
Yeah,
Not until he graduates.
Wait for that when he's 5 years old. Why not?
It's because she doesn't have a tattoo. She doesn't understand.
And that's the thing is the thing with, like, you know, you guys have kids, and I always tell you guys, my nephew, freaking, his name's Baldo. But, like, the same with him is, like, he's slowly turning into an adult. And he just turned 18, and I tell him all the time, I'm like, you know, his mom, you know, Angelica, forgive me or whatever. She's always like...
Forgive me or whatever.
Yeah, but she's like, you know, if you can, give him guidance. And, like, I tell him all the time, I'm like, kid, you can do what you want. You know, you can experiment. Just be careful and make sure you do the right things here.
Make sure you do it responsibly, too. And with the right people, because you never know.
Yeah, that's where I fucked up. I just got
like,
wild.
The one thing I'll tell you is, like, one thing I told my cousin that I'm really against is, like, you know, I don't mind us getting high or getting high with random people or whatever. But, like, if my nephew's one day like, I want to get high with you, I think I'm going to wait. Like...
Really?
Because, like, I at least want him to be 21 where he's a grown-ass man. I don't want to do it now.
But when did you start? You know,
getting high?
Yeah.
Honestly, I got high with my cousin's friends.
No, but what age?
I was like probably 16, I think, when I did.
So why can't he do it?
So, well, because
see,
I want him.
That's where hypocrisy, dude. Hypocrisy.
But see what I'm saying here? I want him to do it with his friends. I don't want to do it with him.
Oh, so, you don't want to be that.
Wait,
okay, I get it.
I feel like.
That's how you learn. I think
it might be better off, honestly. If he does it with you, that's being responsible.
Yeah.
He's making that responsible choice because you have experience.
Yeah, but then
so
if he
why
gets
not
caught
do
up
it with him?
If he gets caught up, first thing his mom's gonna say, "It's all your fault. You got him high."
Why would you tell though?
I don't know, but still, if she's gonna put the math together, she's gonna be like.
When my nephew turned 21, and I was like, "Dude, let's go get a drink." He was like, "Okay." So we went to Chili's. Right?
Okay.
We went to the bar, got a few shots. By the end of the night, he was like, I don't think this is right.
Okay, see?
I'm like, dude, you good, man? He's like, I think I had too much.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, okay, well.
See, look, the big example again, we're going to talk about right now.
Dude, he's had way more shit than that.
But even now, I'm saying, like, right now, good example right now. You guys are freaking, your son finally goes, hey, Dad, I want to get high. Can I get high with you?
Yeah, I would let him.
Yeah.
Because
I know, like, where that limit is. Like, don't just do this. That's all you need.
Yeah.
Trust me, this is all you need.
Yeah.
Don't go any more than that. That's it.
Yeah.
And you know, we're hanging out with friends. We're like, oh, do another one. One.
Yeah,
like,
I'd rather them be with me than being with their friends.
And enjoy the experience.
See,
and not
and
just
some people are like in that because, like, I don't know if you heard about Johnny Depp. They said that he did that with his daughter.
That's fine.
His daughter, what do you call it? He got high with his daughter, but he told his daughter, I'd rather you get high with me than go out there somewhere where I know you're not safe.
That's being responsible.
Yeah,
so that's a good point on that. But the thing is, just I don't want.
Sometimes it makes
to make an image. Like, for all I know.
But they at least build a sort of trust.
Yeah.
Because, like you said in an earlier episode, like, I want my kids to trust me enough to talk to me about everything that bothers them because I don't want that shit bottled up.
Yeah.
So
it's
better that they do that with me than going out with their friends and, you know, you never know what's going to happen. What if they don't come back?
Yeah.
That shit would fuck me
This
up.
is wisdom, man. 30 years old.
No,
Wisdom.
yeah.
You
No,
see what
but
happens?
see-
We have to have alcohol on the
see
show.
But see what I'm saying? Yeah, talking about this is really is something, and that's what I'm saying. That's what's really good about this. But at the same time, it's the other part where I just don't want my cousin to be like, what if my freaking nephew's like fucking passed the fuck out, like he can't breathe type of shit, and she's like, it's all your fault because you let him get high.
Well, that's why you step in and
See.
stop him from having us
Well,
past a
also,
certain
you
amount.
also
That's-
know that
That's
You
where
know,
I rather.
marijuana isn't good. Dude, actually,
That's where I rather just not deal with that.
Well, the edible did that to me.
It's not.
See-
You stop breathing.
Not stop breathing, but like scared the shit out of me. Dude, I was so scared the first
The
time.
only
I was like,
suggestion I
I'm
ever
gonna
make to
die
him-
if I close my eyes.
And that's what you learn.
The only suggestion I make to him is, hey, buy some eye drops. That's my only suggestion. I'm
You know
like,
how many times eye drops has saved my ass at work?
bro. And it's funny because I remember, dude, I just love those Rolos, and dude, those shit burn my eyes. I get clear eyes because like fucking those Rolos burn the fuck out of my eyes. I hate those. But Javier like, that's how you know they work. One sting and your eyes are on fire and they're clear. I'm like, dude,
Yeah,
what the
wisdom,
fuck?
wisdom.
Yeah. But I mean, dude, I always, I don't know. It's just, I gotta be careful. I don't want to like get my.
But I
nephew in
mean,
trouble.
I obviously
that's-
never had that
Like I said,
type of bond with
Yeah.
my father because I wish he would have taught me
I
more.
never knew my
Yeah.
father.
And but I don't want that same thing with my kid. I want my kid to trust me.
No,
So-
yeah. I recently sat down with my son and I told him like, yo, if you ever want to talk about anything, school, your
Yeah.
friends that you're making, or us, you know, you want
especially
to
if
tell us,
they're
like, hey,
being
you're
bullied.
yeah. I told him like, yo, I literally told him like, hey, don't end up like me and bottle up every emotion.
That was another one of those
It's not
things
good.
where
It's not.
I literally read this morning where somebody put, let's say, you know, your kid got in trouble for hitting another kid in school or whatever, but you told your kid to fight back. It turns out that's bad parenting. You shouldn't tell your kid to fight back if he's getting picked on.
First of all, fuck that. If you're gonna get
Because it turns out you're
Punched
part of the
on.
problem.
no,
Fuck that, dude. That's stupid as
no.
hell.
If I'm getting hit on, I ain't gonna fight back.
I mean, not if I'm getting hit on. Quite frankly, I'm flattered when that happens.
Yeah, you are a very sexy man.
But it'd be the whole thing where it's that, where it's like, let's say your kid got in a fight, and then first thing they say is like, why'd you punch back? And you'd be like, because my dad told me to. Then they're going to talk to you. What are you going to say?
Then I'd come in and I'd
Then
whip
I'd come
their
in,
ass.
like-
Not my kids, but like the principal. If it's the principal, who the hell is he to tell me how to raise my
we
kid?
can see
man?
why he's beating out so much ass, because you're beating our ass.
First of
But
all, I'd be
that's
like,
too-
principal, let me punch you in the face and see if you're not gonna fight back.
See, that's a good example. If they're telling your kid that shit and you come in, they're like, "Oh, well, you're the problem. I'm gonna punch that fucker in the face." And if he starts to fight back, I'll be like, "See, see what happens?" It's like you're not gonna let
Hey,
that.
you broke my
you're
whole
not
thing
gonna,
right there. Holy
I'm
crap.
like, you're not gonna take that shit sitting down.
Square up, old man. He's one of them like fucking Rocky guys where he's like all buff and shit. Like
I
Sylvester
get
Stallone.
it
Like, oh
about-
shit.
The thing is, like, you're gonna be like, I give you one chance to stop,
Yeah,
and if you keep going, you are gonna hit
you've
back.
been warned.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So it's like that's what I'm gonna tell my kid. I was like, listen, if somebody's picking on you, you tell them to stop, and if they don't stop, then I guess you have every right. It's self-defense, man. Self-defense. I'm not gonna tell my kids like, yo, man, wail on his ass. Like, no, man.
Like, you'll start it, but you're
defend
definitely
yourself.
gonna finish it. You
Oh
know what
yeah,
I mean?
definitely finish it. Don't fucking stand there taking
Yeah,
that crap. Fuck
like-
that.
I guess I can see that. Yeah. All right. Now number 3 then. All right. Let's say your kid's finally like, yo, dad, you know, I'm about to take this girl out, and like, I'm planning to try to do it. How should I start off this?
Well, first of all, put your whole fist in there. Just kidding. Just kidding. Jokes.
Like, would you be
It's a
ready?
comedy
Would you be ready for
podcast.
the Bears, or would you be ready for the Bears? Would you be ready for the?
You like the Bears?
No, I mean what?
Aren't you from Chicago? You like the
Yeah,
Chicago
I mean
Bears?
yeah, but we suck right now. But what is it? The bees and the
birds and the bees.
There you go. I'm over here
Jeez,
thinking the
bro.
bees and the
Have you seen
hives.
that joke? Like, now you gotta talk about the bees and the bees, and the bees and the birds, and the birds and the birds.
Yeah. So
I
maybe
mean, I'm
that's
gonna
a-
be honest with them. I'm like, oh, if you ever ask me, like, Dad, where do babies come from? I'll be like, sit down, kid. I'm gonna have to tell you the truth. You see your mom's legs?
No,
Why lie to your
I'm in
kid?
the-
They're
I'm
gonna
in the
find
point
out
where, like,
eventually.
get back to me in like 5 years.
No, see, because this is a thing that I've heard about.
See.
If you tell your kid like some BS, like, oh, the stork brings them, that actually fucks them up more.
Yeah.
You might as well just tell them the truth.
But I know my at this point in this moment, I know my kid where he's like,
Okay.
not gonna remember. I'm like, yeah,
Let's
I'll
say
tell you in 5 years.
let's say he's 16 trying to get some.
Okay.
You're not gonna talk to him about it?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course,
okay,
dude. You
well,
don't want him
yeah,
going in fucking not knowing what he's doing. And I mean,
Nobody told me anything. I look like a fucking idiot.
my legs were open. The fuck?
I was on my back.
I don't know where she starts. So
But yeah, you gotta explain them like how that stuff works, or else they're gonna go out and screw shit up.
Yeah,
It's like, look,
and then
how
you-
many people end up pregnant like at a young age?
Yeah.
Like, you need to explain that shit to them before they screw it up.
We definitely came from like a generation
Ow.
that taught us like figure it out on your own, basically.
Yeah, right. They whooped your ass. They're like, you better not be a parent.
Oh, that too. Yeah.
Well, see what you're saying right there. Figure out by your own. That's what I'm talking about. The whole where my cousin, or I mean my nephew, you know, I want him to learn things by himself.
But we
'Cause I
also
feel
had
like-
a generation was like, hey, don't do that, and then
Yeah.
it's like, I want to do that now.
Yeah.
Like, why not?
But see,
Like,
that's
why are you telling me
it
not
sounds.
to?
See, wait. We had your discussion, but I mean, do you know your dad?
I know my dad.
Okay, so you have a dad.
Yes. I
Okay,
have.
and
I have a dad too.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
I just, no. I don't have a dad. See, that's
I just
what,
haven't
that's what I'm trying to say. I don't have a dad.
I don't have that bond with him
Yeah.
like
See,
most.
I don't have
Parents
a dad.
do.
But the way I learned to be a man is like I learned to myself. I had to be my own man. So
You had to grow up
literally-
fast.
oh, dude, you can
Yeah.
ask my mom, dude. She's always said it. She's always said like you've always been by yourself. Like you've always done things by yourself. And I'm just
Well,
like,
see, I'm in the same boat also because I grew up when my parents were like
Yeah.
always on their jobs,
Yeah.
like they worked and stuff.
yeah.
So, and it was. It got quiet for a minute. It got
Well, I
serious.
mean, but this is real talk. That's
It is
why.
real talk.
And this
It
is what
is.
I'm telling you.
It's
So
getting deep.
technically, I did grow up with myself
Yeah.
because I grew up in a world where I came from a Spanish speaking family
Yeah.
to like an American living.
Yeah.
So I grew up like not knowing the American life.
Yeah.
And I basically had to do things on my own because my parents couldn't like help me with school because they didn't know the subject. They didn't know.
Dude, we're from that generation where your parents are expecting you to translate every little
Yeah,
fucking thing
and
for
I
them.
did.
I'm
At
like,
5
dude,
years
come
old,
on.
I was translating documents and I had no idea what but here's what it says.
I would lie to
and
him. I
I'm
was like,
like-
it says here that you have to
And
buy
as
me a
being-
present.
As being the oldest one in my family, as
See.
a child, I
And that was the thing too. I was
had
the
to
oldest one
do-
in my child.
Yeah, I had to
from
do
my
stuff
mom's
on my
child.
own also.
It's like, this is why I give respect to my older siblings because they've grown up
Yeah.
being forced to do that crap where they gotta
And that's-
translate.
and
Some
that's
of them
where-
now, some of them even now to this day have to still do that shit where
I
they gotta
am still
translate
on
and
that boat.
explain it.
And that's
Yeah,
how my
It's like,
nephew
that
Pablo is.
sucks.
He's the oldest one of all that. And then the thing with them is, him and his father. I mean, him and his father and his mom. They're not together. So you know, my cousin has a new boyfriend, obviously, and like, he's learning to be his own man, and he only sees his dad as much as he does. So when he's not there, I'm at least trying to be like, this is what you need to do. This is what you need to do, and like stuff like that. I mean, I give him the best guidance I can, you know. But the way I look at it is, we all learn to be our own man growing up. So, with or without that, or
That's
friends, or
Yeah,
not.
and I had
And
this
that's the hard part
conversation.
for me right now is trying to teach my son that because like I want him to like grow up in the best life as he can, but I also don't want him to be a fuck up.
Yeah.
I guess because
Why
I also want to step in and be like, oh, don't do that. But like I also gotta think in the back of my mind like you have to fuck up to learn.
Right now, the other part I have is I have my little cousin, and him right now, he has the habit of like, okay, like we're obviously really close friends, us, right? But like, you know, obviously we all have our own situations.
Yeah.
And right now, my cousin has the thing
Like
where
right
he
now,
wants,
you need to bring me a schooner.
he wants to be with his boys every time, but he's talking about like him and his boys are always on that ride and die thing every time. Like every day, he's trying to hang out with his
Yeah,
boys,
not
or
there, yeah.
you know, he's trying to like, hey, I'm gonna take him to the party with us, or he's like bringing his boys to the family party and all that shit, and I'm over here like, bro, you don't need your boys every time. Like you can like do things yourself, be an individual, and that's how I look at that. It's like my nephew, he does that. He does the being an individual sometimes, you know, and I feel like that's what makes you into a man when you grow up.
I mean, like for every parent, you do have to give yourself a break.
Yeah.
And I don't mean just the dads. I mean the moms too. It's like having a hobby really helps out in case. But also, like, don't let your hobby take over you being a parent. You gotta interact with your kids.
Yeah.
Like, I think,
Do you interact with your kids, Diego?
yeah, I spend more time with Don, like, a lot. we mess around,
Wait,
we play it
kid.
and stuff. So like, I didn't. I mean, sorry if I can say it, but I didn't get that experience with my dad.
I know.
Like,
Same.
he did like
Same. No. Yeah.
tiny little bits of things here and there, but like not enough for me to be like, oh yeah, he was the best. Like,
And that's where the thing is
Well,
with me is like
I
my
think-
uncles. That's all I have.
I think maybe like when I was the only child, I think that's maybe yeah, I could see that like it's bonding time.
Yeah.
so,
But then as soon as I got older and I had more siblings, like you can not like you can only spend so much time with one kid, but like it's hard to give
Them
every
the
child
attention.
the
Yeah.
attention that they need.
And then
Because I'm kind of like in that boat now. Like I have another child, and then I have another one coming on the way.
Yeah.
Heads up, because I brought that up on the episode. I am also having another child.
a third kid.
I'm having a third kid,
Oh yeah.
and it's hard right now for me because my oldest is 5 years old, and the other one is 10 months, and like they each have a different attention.
Yeah.
Like this one wants physical attention and play and do things, and the other one just wants like the
Some
stuff that they
type of
need.
interaction.
the stuff. No, like stuff that they need. Like they need to be fed. They need to be changed. They need to be
Put to sleep.
put to sleep.
And then,
Eh.
see, I see where you're coming from with that. And then the other part I have an issue with is, my cousins that are girls, though, they tell me that sometimes I say the wrong things to their kids. And one of the things is, like, one of them cries or falls, and I go, don't be a pussy.
Well, you're not supposed to say that.
But I was taught by my
We're
uncles.
canceled.
I was
Thanks a
taught,
lot.
I was
We're
taught by my
canceled.
uncles. That's what I'm saying. I was taught by my uncles and my older cousins, like, don't be a pussy. And that's literally what it is. You guys even heard that saying. I bet you've heard that saying a couple times. Don't be a pussy.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying? But
Well, I mean, growing up, the only thing I really heard was boys don't cry. That's what I heard growing up.
see, I heard don't be a pussy. And then what?
Well, like,
what
see,
did you hear?
and this goes back to what we were saying
Yeah, I see.
earlier in a previous episode. Like, that's the kind of shit that fucks up with a kid's head.
Yeah.
It's like, see, and this is what brings them into depression, suicidal thoughts, and all this other crap. It's like, that's what I don't want for my kid. If he's got something, like, something's bothering
But the
him,
thing
I
is
want
right
him to
now
tell me.
is that we only have boys. Like I have only met boys
Right.
as children.
Yeah.
You also have a boy.
I have one son, yes.
So,
Yes.
teaching that to a boy, obviously we understand that, but I don't know if you will have a daughter later on, or the
Yeah.
third kid will be a daughter. I don't know. That's gonna be a whole different
Yeah.
teaching
I mean, that's what I'm saying. If I
experience.
ever
I
have
do
a daughter,
my one niece, and I just
And that's a
I
whole
do
different-
teach her differently. I
That's
don't
what I'm
telling
saying.
her
Like that's
that.
gonna
I
be
guess
a
that makes
whole
sense.
but I'm
different.
not gonna treat it differently. I'm like, same thing. If she has problems, I want her
No.
to talk to me about it.
Yeah.
That yes, but like as a son, like if you have a son, you also have to be like, yeah, be that tough
See,
parent.
yeah, but the
Tough
other part with
love.
that is like you're
Tough
saying
love.
the reflection thing, and that's what I'm saying is this is like you guys are gonna say what I'm gonna say, which is, do you guys think you're in a better boat? But this is what you were taught.
I feel like
Oh, see, so here's
See?
the thing about that. So I was raised a certain way
Yeah.
by my parents, and
Yeah.
my dad, who, I'm not gonna get into it right now, but
Yeah.
we grew up. But I think seeing the way he was,
Yeah.
and not technically being, honestly, and I had this conversation with one of my siblings a few weeks ago. It was like, technically, I was raised by my siblings,
Yeah.
and not really my parents.
Yeah.
And I think seeing the way my dad was when I was a kid, I was like, I don't want to be that guy.
Yeah.
So it made me, learning from his mistakes
Yeah.
is how I turned out to be the guy that I am now.
So would you say, are you a good example?
In comparison, I think I'm a better example.
All right. See, so that means if you were taught like that and you feel like your methods are good, then your kid will be okay.
Yeah.
See, and then here sounds crazy, but I'm on the same boat. I'm obviously a single lad and I ain't got no woman or whatever. But at the same time, I try not to get stepped on or pushed over or whatever.
Well, that's
Right.
another thing.
And
I'm
that's
not
where I'm
telling
like,
my kid to be a rug. I was
No,
like,
no,
hell
yeah,
no,
you're good.
dude, no te dejas.
but then that's the other part is like, this is how I was taught. So I feel like when I say that to some other kid trying to teach him whatever, I want him to be just as manly as I am. Does that make sense?
Are you man?
Like, depends.
well, I don't want him to be.
Again, you see this chest hair?
Do you do have
Two,
put out?
two,
There's kids here.
two.
Dude, I
the
thought you were
crying
wearing a
part,
sweater.
the crying part is what I tell literally my nephew and my little cousin. I go, real men, they cry at home when nobody's looking. All right? don't you be fucking crying in public. Go cry at home when nobody's fucking looking like a real man. Because like honestly, again, I was raised where if you're crying in
I watch
person,
One Piece and that shit hits.
again, if you're crying in person, when I was raised, it was all right. Stop being a pussy. Stop crying.
Yeah.
So I was taught that. So
But
my
see,
thing
that's
is-
how you end up with people like, man, why am I forgetting their names already? The murderers, dude.
Murderers?
Yeah,
Murderers? That took a whole
Okay,
rewind.
oh, yeah. I mean, I ain't murdering anybody. Yeah.
yeah.
Because
Like-
typically those guys had like parental issues,
Yeah.
and that's what got them
What, like
to
a
that
Jeffrey
point.
Dahmer situation?
Yeah, that kind of shit. Like Jeffrey Dahmer and what was that clown? The hell
Wayne
is his name?
Gacy?
Yeah, wait, what?
Was it Wayne Gacy?
Gracie?
No, yeah, Wayne Gacy.
I don't remember. I remember Johnny Depp played him in a documentary.
Did you really?
Yeah, it was good. Johnny Depp does a documentary. It's a Peacock exclusive.
What documentary?
It's him being that killer. He plays as him.
Which one?
Wayne Gacy.
It's yeah.
The clown?
Yep.
Yeah, it's Wayne Gacy.
What?
Yeah.
No,
It's
this one Gary?
again, Peacock exclusive.
Peacock.
Yeah, they paid Larry Johnny Depp to do a fucking show, so to be him. But
Well,
yeah,
the guy who played Jeffrey Dahmer was
Evan
Quicksilver.
Peters.
yeah.
from Quicksilver. Yeah.
Yep. I was like,
I
oh,
said
that's
too.
weird.
Evan Peters.
I think he's the best Quicksilver there was. So, well, he's the first.
There's only
Quicksilver.
two, though.
Yeah, he's only the first. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
But yeah, I don't
that
know. I
was
feel
good.
like those kind of
movie
people.
was alright.
Okay. Never mind. I can't bring that up. We can't talk about that. YouTube does not allow it.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
I didn't even know what it was, but okay.
It has to do with this. I'm just going to point at an object, and it has to do with a facility. It's called school.
It's called school.
So,
okay.
You see what I mean? We can't
Yeah.
talk about that.
Okay. So we'll see.
So we're
Sure,
going to
you
have to pass
know,
that.
the world is changing and we'll adapt.
Yeah.
See, and that's another thing, too, is like when you. So, like when Jude had his first day of school, how did that feel?
Sad.
Right? This shit
was.
sucked.
It was. Like-
Dude, it gets to you.
Well, I mean, I had preschool to prepare me for that, but like,
Right.
because we would obviously drop them off at preschool, and then it would just, that was also sad. But like, actually going into a kindergarten class, it was like, that's my boy. He's gone for like 8 hours.
But stuff like that, so you know he's growing up. He's being an individual.
Yeah, it is.
So
And like, I told my wife the other day, like, he had his first field trip, and I'm like,
Hmm.
I wonder how his field trip's going. Like, I wonder how he's doing right now. 'Cause
Do they still do camp? Like the 3 days of camp that they're gone for?
I'm not there yet,
I don't know
but
about that
I think so.
I haven't heard of that kind of thing in a while. Because when I was in elementary school, we went to a camp for 3 days.
Oh.
So I was like away from home, and I don't know. The experience was not bad, but I was like, I wonder how my parents thought, or like,
Yeah, finally he's out.
probably they're like,
Some
did
hanky-panky.
they
I was
miss me? Were they happy that
I'll
I
be
was
honest,
gone?
I never
or-
had a camping experience like that. Where I
You
had
wanna
to
go
with the
camping?
family. No.
Oh.
I mean, I've gone camping with the family, but I've never had the school camping or the church camping shit.
Church.
That's never happened to me. Where like we have a
Church.
camping retreat thing or whatever.
Church.
That's another topic.
No, it's because
Anyways.
that's how I know people that do it. They were like, "Oh, the church is doing their camping thing," and I'm over here like, "Well, I don't want to go to that." I mean, I did camping with my family, but I'll be honest with you, I don't like camping.
You don't like camping?
I don't like camping.
I
like
I hate
camping.
bugs.
It
It
depends.
gets too fucking cold. You know, the ground is really
No,
rough.
I think it depends who you camp with.
And
You
where.
find the right people.
and
like,
how.
that's what
Like,
I'm
I
saying.
think I could camp by myself,
If I
and
find
I'll
somebody
be
with
like
an
having a
RV.
great time.
Depends where too, because damn, there's bears and
Like if I
wolves.
camp with my wife, it'd be a fun time. It'd be a good time. Camp with myself, it'd be a fun time. Camping
I
with
have,
some friends, if I camp with you and you, Richard, I think it'll be a fun time.
I think I've only camped twice, and one time was I went to Pennsylvania with my family, and my cousins were like, "Well, we were gonna camp this weekend because it's Labor Day weekend. Sadly, my birthday's always by Labor Day, and that's what happens." But they're like, "We're going camping." I was like, "Fuck, I hate camping." The fuck?
Well, like, are you talking about like camping? Like, you take the whole RV with you, and
Well,
then you're like,
it turns
yeah,
out-
or are you pitching up a tent?
It turns out it was
and
like a real.
surviving off the elements like a
It
real
turns out it was like a
man.
real ground camping area. It turns out like they literally had like bathrooms there with and with showers
I've been
that
there.
you were able to go. And
I've
like,
done that.
I was like, "Oh, okay, cool." So it's not like,
It's not like that hardcore.
yeah, I thought it'd be like the other.
But have you ever done hardcore camping?
Hell no. I don't
Oh,
think
I
I have.
have.
I don't think I have interest.
I have like 2 days without showering kind of camping.
Yeah.
When
Yeah,
I was a
that's
kid,
fun,
we
though.
actually had a tent that we pitched up in our yard, and I stayed out there. I was so excited when they put it up. I was like, I'm gonna stay out here tonight.
And then
And
2
they're
minutes
like,
later,
yeah,
I'm
right,
like,
yeah,
I'm gonna go play
right.
some Nintendo.
No, dude, I actually like went out to the tent. It was just in our front yard, but I had my sleeping bag, and I went in there and I zipped it shut, and I was like, Fucking-
For 2 seconds, and like I'm bored.
dude, no, I passed out. I fell asleep. And I think maybe it was like 2, 3 o'clock in the morning that I kind of like woke up a tiny bit and I saw the lights from my porch. And I don't know who it was. It must have been like one of my
The
older
fucking
brothers.
van driving by like, damn, he's up.
I was like, I was like, it could have been. I think it was like either one of my older brothers or my dad. Then he came out and opened the tent, saw that I was asleep. Well, asleep, quote unquote. I was like, I didn't want to wake up so I could walk in there and like carry me.
You
And
bastard.
no, I just remember like he was carrying me inside the house and I put me in my bed. I was like, guess I'm in my house now.
Well, yeah, okay. See, some different stuff like that.
And that's what
where
I want to do with my son.
you want him to be on the camping experience.
No, like yeah, but like I would want to have that experience with him, but also I know what like I'm learning more about my kid and how he is, and like I don't think he'll enjoy it as much because he's a tablet kid,
Yeah.
as you would call it.
Oh yeah. Oh, it's definitely
But-
the new generation that
No,
with that.
yeah, I know. Like we were like a gaming system
'Cause
kid. I don't know about you.
I tell everybody else. I feel like we were the Game Boy kids, obviously, because like back then, that's what we
Oh
had.
yeah, dude.
You know, like
Game Boys.
dude, I remember like we tried to go to sleep, man, every night, and then we couldn't sleep. We just got up and played the Game Boys, with the lights on and shit, just playing under blankets and shit.
Then you
Yeah.
heard one of the parents wake up and you're like, quick, shut the lights off.
Yeah, and it was like that simple. You can literally just cover the damn thing, so like the light would go away or whatever. But it
Well,
was
when the
that.
when the Game Boy Advance SP came out, it already had the built-in light, and you were like, "Oh hell
Yeah,
yeah!"
no,
You got the
that's the
dimmer.
one.
You got the dimmer.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, that came out after maybe like the second one was
The
released.
advance.
I mean,
No,
The
that's
SP, because when the SP first came out, it was
SP
just an on and off.
I
Cause
had
it was something like SP and then like
There was the
Advance?
SP, and then there was another SP, but that one did have an
The, like,
adjustable
dimmer.
thing.
Yeah, I remember that one.
See,
It
I
was
had
cool.
the advance, but not that long where I was just like using it at nighttime or that type of shit. I didn't have it that long because then from there I got a gaming system. Then after that, I got a Game Boy SP, which had the light to it, and then that's when it just became a thing.
They're like, now everybody has freaking tablets or like the damn
That's what it
Switch.
is now, yeah.
I was like,
Or
man,
two
this is the
people-
kind of stuff I wish I
motherfuckers have
had
that
when I
thing
was a
where you
kid.
can download the Pokemon game on your phone and you can play it on your phone.
Yep, the
People-
emulators.
emulators.
Yeah,
Mhm.
people have that. And
And see, and that's another thing I'm kind of worried about. Not worried about, but like, we were into video games. We're from that generation that were into video games, right? And I want my kid to be into video games, but like not that like addicted to
Hardcore.
it. Not that
Yeah.
like kids. What are they playing? Like Fortnite and Call of Duty,
Right.
and they're like glued to the screens. Like I don't want that for my kid. I want him to play what I played. I want him to experience the things that I experienced.
remember?
But that's
There's the other part too where we
like I've been realizing you can't do that
Yeah.
because what you
I know.
experience
I
is
know.
a completely
It's like you
different-
can't
Yes,
force
exactly.
him.
I
Like
was saying,
in my
again.
head, I was thinking like I'm just gonna walk by him one day and he's sitting on the couch. I'm just gonna drop the Game Boy onto his lap and be like,
and he's
"Oh,
gonna be like,
what's
these
that?"
graphics are shit. What the fuck,
Pretty
Dad?
much. Like, okay, I'm not gonna lie.
I
When
got squint my eyes to see.
it's like we had the Game Boy Advance, which was my first handheld system,
Yeah.
and then somehow I got a hold of the original Game Boy,
Yeah.
and I was like, ugh.
Yeah, no, see, that's what happens. Yeah.
Oh yeah, you're
Or
right.
too, like I ain't gonna lie to you. Sometimes I'm one of I think I told you guys this, but I'm one of those guys who actually likes to collect old school games and play them again. Like I got a Call of Duty, and I got not Call of Duty, my bad. PlayStation
Okay.
2, I got like Silent Hill. You know, those were only available for like the old systems, and then the one I played recently was like the Hulk, and I didn't realize the graphics on there were like.
Oh, the whole game. I
Yeah,
remember
but the
whole game.
it was fun as fuck. But the graphics, I'm just like, wow! I didn't realize how shitty they were. But back in the day, I was like, these graphics were the shit.
So, but there are maybe a few games that are considered ageless.
Yeah,
So like, the only thing I can really think of is Pokemon.
yeah.
Like those people want. They're worth a lot of money still. Even the older games, they're
Yeah.
still worth a lot of money. Even if they're used, finding a brand new one is like a needle in a haystack, and they're worth a lot of money.
I bet.
Like a lot. For some stupid reason, like okay, so I recently sold one of my older games at a disc replay.
Yeah.
And it was Black 2.
Yeah.
Pokemon Black.
Okay.
I don't really know how much money I got for that bastard. But then, you know, they do that bullshit turnaround thing and they're selling it for $144.
Oh yeah, dude. No,
I was like, dude, what the fuck? But those they're worth a lot of money.
No, yeah.
I was like, holy
Vintage
crap.
stuff's coming back.
It's usually that stuff where I feel like something like I think we talked about this too. When people die, they usually turn into profit, which I know like.
Oh, so like Da Vinci or something like that. Like his artwork,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
Yeah.
They're
Oh,
worth a
green-
lot of money.
Oh,
They're worth more when you're dead, I
gotcha.
guess.
Yeah, for some reason.
Yeah,
Or like,
I remember that because he was like a nobody, and then as soon as he died,
Yeah,
or
all
like
of a sudden,
art
all
just
his
went
artwork
off
is
the
like worth
fucking
millions of
ass.
fucking
Yeah.
dollars.
Yeah.
It's freaking
the
ridiculous.
Green Ranger Funko went up in price when that dude died. That was crazy. It was like,
Dude, but that
R.I.P.
typically that's exactly what happens.
yeah, so like,
Yeah.
Just because, you know, you're never gonna get the
yeah,
same
like
product.
as soon as one of us dies, this podcast is just gonna fucking.
yeah.
Could you imagine, dude? We're gonna have somebody.
No, I got kids. You got
I got kids. Richard.
Well, I'll try the best
You
I
got
can.
wings
to come
though.
up with
You got wings. Those
Oh
are
damn,
fire.
never
If
mind. We
not,
can't.
Like I always
How
say,
about we add a fourth guy and we tell him nothing?
like, or like I said, man,
We have open applications.
I always
Suzanne.
tell myself like, if I died, I'm honestly gonna give some stuff to my nephew because he's always been the one at least.
Make sure you put out a will.
Maybe
though,
I'll make him
'cause-
be the next one. I'll be like, hey, dude, you're gonna have to finish the podcast. I never had a kid, so you're in it.
Damn.
Or two, like, hey, that's what happens in what with Mr. Deeds, dude. That dude, he had a nephew, remember, and then he turned into a millionaire because of him.
Mhm.
So.
They didn't
true.
find a son because the butler was his son.
Oh, you're
Oh,
right.
the butler was his son.
God, what
yeah,
a plot
yeah,
twist!
yeah,
God damn it! What if that?
Yeah.
Fuck. That's crazy though.
Yeah, I forgot it. But yeah, but
Yeah.
still, like I said,
Like that was funny though.
It could
It's
happen.
hilarious.
I like a feet. I think it's there. It's like I like a feet.
Yes, I'm very sneaky.
Yeah.
Well, I guess I'm gonna put this out there for anybody who's about to become a parent. It's scary. That first night was scary.
No, not the
Like-
first at the hospital.
Well, yeah, because I have a coworker who's about to be a dad next month, and it's like, man, dude, my experience that first night at the hospital was just those hours from when we got checked in to when he was born felt like the longest time in my entire life. It felt like weeks were passing by, even though we've only been there for a few hours. And when my kid was finally born, there was just like a flood of emotions. I was like, what? I've never felt this way about anything. It was fucking wild. When I held him in my arms, I was fucking crying, dude. I couldn't stop crying.
So here's the thing. I also agree with that. But when my experience was during when my first kid was born, it was amazing. Like I saw my kid come out and I'm like, oh, this is my son. And I'm like, yeah, this is cool. And we had the help of the hospital and stuff. Like the nurses would come in and change him and they would help. The scariest part
What's going on?
was when I was going home and I opened up the front door and I saw my son added to our household and I'm like, what do I do now? What do I do now?
Dude,
I
yeah.
have guidance. Like this is me. Like I had
Yep.
like that was the most scariest part of being a parent was like just going home, open up the front door and be like, I'm on my own.
Right.
Like well not like
Well,
we had
not
the
entirely
help
on
of
your
my
own.
wife,
You
but,
have
like,
your spouse, yeah. But yeah, that first night home, that first
that
week,
was the scariest.
that first
part.
week was terrifying. This is why I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna say thank you to my sister-in-law Lisette. She actually helped our asses out that first few weeks. I was like, man, I'm grateful that she gave us her time to be here and help us out. Because that first week, dude, we didn't eat, we didn't sleep. Like we were sleep deprived, we were hungry,
that was
but
tough.
just because we were like trying to figure shit out.
Yeah.
Because it's like it's different. Like you said, one point, like it's one thing when it's not your kid because you could always just give them back.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
But when it's your own kid, it's like, dang, that they're gonna be there 24/7. You're a
No,
parent
that's what I'm saying.
24/7.
See, again, bro, I ain't got no. Again, I don't have that experience. But my cousin was pregnant. We lived in the same apartment, and that shit was different story, I guess. Because in this type of case, it was like, she was like, "Oh man, I feel my stomach kicking." I'm like, "Oh shit, what the fuck do I do?" I'm over here calling my aunt and shit, and I'm like, "What do I do? What do I do?" Well, my cousin did have that kid that day, so.
Oh really?
Yeah, but that dude, I wasn't a father. or anything
She's
like
looking
that.
at you and she's like, "Deliver the baby." And
Like,
you're
I'm
like,
over here
"What?"
like, how the fuck am I gonna help my cousin? Yeah, dude. And then it's just something else. I don't know. But
Like, I
the
had,
good thing about being an uncle is like,
yeah,
again, y'all motherfuckers clean shit. I don't clean shit, and I complain about cleaning my dog shit. And my cousin, I obviously Javier be like, dude, imagine I clean 2 little kids shit. That ain't nothing. So like, I'm okay.
It's
I'm
like,
okay avoiding some things.
I grew up with, I don't know how many nephews and nieces. I know it's a lot, but I mean, like, I thought going into this whole thing where like, oh, my wife's pregnant, and then we were waiting for our son to be born. I was like, I got some experience with kids. I've changed my nephews and nieces diapers occasionally. Like, I got this. No, dude. It's totally different when it's your own kid.
It is.
And that's why
It's
I'm okay
crazy.
with giving the kid back because
And
I
I
want to
will-
clean the shit.
Like, okay, and let me ask you
Say
this. Okay.
to anybody that's like that was told like having kids suck. That's the worst thing ever.
It does
I'm-
sometimes.
No, I agree.
Sometimes.
Sometimes it sucks.
Yeah.
But the whole experience of like seeing something that you created and like you raising yourself and like your experience, this living thing having your like its own identity, dude, it is
And that's
the
what
most
be
amazing
lying.
thing I have ever experienced. I would never ever take it
Yeah, I
back.
wouldn't change
I'd,
it.
say,
be
I'd
like-
be lying if I tell you guys I don't want a kid though. I do want a kid because the thing with that is like it sounds weird. Obviously we all don't last, but I want my seed to keep going. You know what I'm saying? There's got to be another Richard in this world.
You mean you want
So that's what I'm
you
saying.
want your
like,
family line to go? Don't
yeah,
succeed.
to keep going. Like I got again nephew and nieces, but they're not a copy of me. You know?
No,
They're a copy
no,
of my
yeah,
sister.
but no,
so
Yeah.
that's
It's-
where.
It is the hardest job. Even as a like, I'm not a mother because I would never experience like
I was
a
saying,
whole,
we're over
the whole thing
We're over
of
here
like
like-
taking it out.
We're over here like-
And
all the
I give
women.
1,000 props
We're over here
to
like the
any
experience of
mother
them, but
that's
them-
out there.
Props to all the women
Dude,
that give
all the
birth.
That was
'cause
one
that
thing
shit
my cousin
sucks.
was like, sometimes you take a shit pushing out that kid. I'm like, you take a shit
It's
pushing out that
true.
kid?
It is
Like,
true.
sometimes you
I've
take a shit
never-
pushing out that kid.
And let me tell you
I'd
about
be
that.
so embarrassed. I take a shit before I go in there.
That's
Yeah,
not how it
never,
works.
see?
That's not how
That's
it
not
works,
how
dude.
it works.
Yeah.
That's not
Let
in
me
the
tell you
cards.
about that real quick, because when my wife was giving birth, there was these two like, I guess they were in there for some kind of like college credit or some shit. They're
Yeah.
like these
Interns?
college girls
Interns, yeah,
trying to
yes.
learn or gain experience. But like, you know, that stuff happens. You take a crap when you're giving birth. So they were over there laughing to themselves like, oh my gosh, she took a shit. Dude, and I heard that bitch. And I was like, get those two fuckers out of here. Like, I don't give a fuck if they're here for a college education. If they're going to be disrespectful like that, get them the fuck out of here. I don't care if they failed their damn shit. Just get them out. And I think the nurse was like, yeah, he looks serious. So she's like, I'm sorry, but you have to leave. She's like, well, how am I going to get college credit? It's like, that's not my fucking problem, bitch. Get the fuck out of here. If you're going to be disrespectful like that, you shouldn't be even applying for this job.
Yeah, because there's like those nurses that we had, like our second child that we just had. My wife ate some food before she gave birth, and we didn't realize how quick he was gonna come. But
After the first kid, they just come flying out. Is what they said.
kinda,
So I was like,
kinda.
I was telling
But-
Darlene, I was like, well, maybe after, you know, if we have a second kid, he's just
It's
gonna
gonna be quick. I wish it was, but like
have to get like a baseball glove and be like, come on, bring him
that's
over,
what happened. Like
give him
this
to
is the
me.
craziest experience for the second one. Like the first one, I always like I during the second one, like I knew what was gonna happen, all the stuff that was. No, it was totally unpredictable because it came so quickly. But like what you said with the interns that were being very, very disrespectful. Like yes, like I'm grateful of the team that we had when we had our second child because they were like the stuff that happened during that was like totally unpredictable. Only thing I could say was like I got vomited on, and everybody else
Wait, by the baby or by the wife? Wait,
by the wife.
oh, I thought you said by me. I was like, wait, by yourself?
No. And so like it was a different experience from the first one. Like I was not expecting this. So I'm like, so my wife puked on everybody, and like the way that the other like the nurses and the doctors handled it was totally professional. Like if it was like something like that, you happen like yeah, it would be like ew, like oh that's fucking gross, or like oh like that's dude, get the fuck out.
So you're saying
I
like,
would do the same
See,
thing
and that's the
with
thing
you.
too, because
so
I
basically, they did it professional. They
They
threw
were
up.
like-
They were threw up, and they were just like, eh.
Well, I mean,
Basically.
no, because the interns were the only ones in there that were disrespectful. We had two nurses, and we had our oh my gosh, what do you call them? I've been having like a brain fart of what they're called.
Same.
The
Okay.
friggin' but it's over here. It's like down the street.
The
clinic over here.
Fairhaven.
Yeah, Fairhaven. Hey, what do you call them?
Oh,
Damn it, what
I
are they fucking
literally
called?
just doing this right now.
I don't know.
I'm having a brain fart too, but I know what you're talking about because we were going to the same people also.
But anyways, so she was there, and like right up until my wife was finally gonna give birth, somebody comes into the room. It's like, hey, and then there's like whispering or whatever. She's like, guys, I have to leave. There's another one of my patients who's actually giving birth right now. And I was like, whoa, hold on. So it's just gonna be me and the other two nurses? I was like, they don't know. They don't look like they know what they're doing. And I was like, oh crap. So panic set in. And I was like, holy shit. So like she's gone. It's like our lady who was supposed to deliver the baby. I was like, oh my gosh, she really just fucking left. It's just me in here. And the two nurses that were in there now were like,
You think they'd have more people on deck?
this was COVID.
Oh,
This was during COVID, so there was like
I forgot about
nobody.
that, yeah.
There's barely anybody. It was just me and my wife.
Yeah,
It was like, because normally,
because they can't have a lot of people.
well, because for her side of the family, normally she had like, my wife was there for my sister-in-law, and I think my mother-in-law was also there for like that kind of stuff, you know. But for us, it was just me and her. Yeah. And the nurses, I'm not gonna say they didn't know what they were doing. They're professionals, right? But I did all the fucking work. I was front line on that shit. I was holding her legs. I was helping her count and breathe, and I was looking down, and I was like, my God.
Dr. D.
It's like, I know.
spread my legs for you.
Well, it's because I know some dads don't want to do that shit.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, I'm not looking down there. I'm like, dude, you look down there when you're about to stick it in, but it's like, so you can't see it when a baby's coming out of there? It's like, no,
It was the
man, you
most
shouldn't even
insane
have
thing
kids.
ever. It was amazing. It was like,
Oh,
whoa,
Dude, the experience was
it's
crazy.
crazy.
and then that was again. My cousin just tells me, she's like, and your shit is loose for a couple months, and then you have to wait for it to slowly
Well, like
get
I
back
said,
together.
like-
6 months.
1,000%. I would give applause to any mother that's out there.
All mothers.
Right, like,
all
you-
mothers. Props to
Yes,
you guys.
I tell my
Put up
wife
with a lot.
every time I tell my wife like you did this, like I give you props 1,000%. Like
It's like, thank you for bringing me into
yeah,
the
I
world.
tell her every
Oh,
single
man.
time I can. Like yo,
Especially for the mothers who have to have a C-section.
Yeah.
It's like, that shit sucks too, but damn. Like, everybody that gave birth, like, the quote-unquote
Natural.
normal way,
Yeah.
props to you.
1,000%. I would never, ever, never, ever take credit of, like giving birth to like that was my job or whatever. Like no, like you did this all yourself. But you 1,000% served.
Like, another time, well, that same day when my kid was about to be brought into the world, the nurse kept asking us if we wanted the mirror down, because that technically helps somehow.
You can see the progress.
And in the end, my wife was like, yeah, just screw it. Bring the mirror down. Bring the mirror. And as soon as we saw the top of his head, that's when she was like motivated. And then he freaking just comes right out. And I was like, but like when he
Super safe,
finally,
right?
when he was finally here, this is like the craziest fucking thing in the world. I was like, holy crap, there really was a baby in there.
Yeah.
I was like, man, it's like you think like all that crap that you learn growing up from like sex ed and like sexual education and all that whatever in school that they tell you about. It's like, man, you think I'd be more prepped?
No, you never prepped.
Dude, you are never ready to be a parent.
Never. No matter
Even
how many times you read a book. Or no
As
matter how
old
many
as your
times-
kids get, you are still never ready. You're learning as you go.
Like even if
And
you
that's-
live
yeah.
with like you raise your nephew or like
Yeah.
whatever every
Yeah.
single day, it gives you the experience. But like once it comes to your own,
Yeah.
It's a totally different
it
thing.
is.
Yeah. And I mean, that's what they say. That's what they say. They also say like their parents are still learning how to be parents.
Yep.
Because like how old are you?
31.
Your mom's never had a 31-year-old. What the fuck? I have a 31-year-old. How do I raise that?
Yeah. how do you raise
Do you even
them?
raise that?
I don't
You're-
know. At that
you're her
point,
son,
I think
so-
the only thing you
See,
can do is worry them, worry they're
That's-
okay.
And that's why sometimes like
my
I
mom
kind of
just texted me a while ago, seeing how I am.
yeah. See, that's why I took that
Really,
approach.
like I have a text message right now, like, "Hey, how you doing?" I'm like,
We're good. We're
I
good.
haven't texted back because
'Cause,
like
like,
podcast, but
I left my mom's house when I was like 18. Like I was 18 and I was like, I'm gonna do my own thing. Again, this very whole thing I tell you, I didn't have a dad.
what a
And I was
man,
just-
what a man.
I became a man again. I became a man. Hey man, but ask my mom if I ever asked her for help. The only thing I've ever asked her was like I've asked her for money maybe like 3 times, but ever since then I've just like done
gotta
everything
figure it out.
myself. Yeah.
Gotta figure it out.
So that's usually how that comes with that. But that was my learning experience from 18 right there, dude. I just did my own thing myself, and I grew up to be a man myself. So, but
And look at you now, man.
yeah.
Fucking.
So I mean, I'm doing good for
I'd be
right
Yeah.
happy
now,
to be your wife.
Dude, look.
Oh. I like your wife. She's cool. Okay, I don't want her to hate me.
Fun fact: she does listen to the episode, so she will hear this part and be like,
I was gonna say, look at you
what?
now, Richard. You're a manager at Wings. God
yeah,
damn,
see,
dude.
so like
You are you
I
are a
mean,
boss, dude.
you know, and then I got like my own car. Like I like my car, so like.
Oh,
But
yeah,
again,
yeah, yeah.
those type of things are where I'm saying like, I mean, it's the other part where I get lucky. So again, I just I get lucky in some areas, and that's what happens.
Yeah, take it what you
So-
can.
Take it when you can. I mean, no.
Yeah, I know.
But yeah, man, being a parent is like a whole different experience, dude. It's crazy, and you're never ready. Like, oh man,
And that's the
Maybe,
crazy
like-
part. You guys are like mind blown by now, and that's the thing I always talked about with my nephew. I mean, my cousin is like, I guess when your kids are teenagers, we'll see how that goes. That'd be
that's the
crazy.
thing that I'm waiting for. I'm like, man, is he gonna be disrespectful or?
Yeah, I don't
But,
know.
like, that first
I'm
time that he
still-
got sick-
Either way, I'm still excited.
Yeah, but that first time that he got like sick,
He's excited. You're
dude, I
excited
was
until he goes,
freaking the fuck out.
"Fuck you, Dad."
Well, we were like,
You're like, what?
I'm
I
not-
told Diego the other day, like, have you got that experience yet? I was like, I hate you, Dad.
Yeah.
no, thank.
I don't like
Oh,
you, Dad.
shit, yeah.
Yeah.
And
Just
I'm
because
like,
I didn't let him have his tablet. Like, that's dumb, dude.
I know, but it's like
He was looking at me. He was like, "No!" I'm like, "What? No, what? Be quiet. You've been on that damn tablet for 3 hours. Hell no. Yeah, we're done."
And I was like,
Give
one
it
of
a
those
break.
things that, see, when we talk about growing up, now here's one of the big ones. That's one of those things I did reflect on. One of the things I remember was my mom, and like same thing, Javier's mom. They would tell us not to be touching the whip. But man, we would grab the car and just drive places where we wanted, you know, and we
When
didn't
you're
care.
5 years old?
No, I mean, like,
You were
I'm talking about
five?
being little shits in general, though. But that's literally what it was. We would drive off in the cars anywhere we wanted because we
Yeah,
were able to.
I remember some family members telling me that I was very rude and disrespectful and whatever. But I think a few years later, after high school, they were like, "Oh, you've matured a lot." I'm like, "Oh, thank you." Not really. I don't think so,
You
but
became your own man.
No, I feel like we have.
yeah.
Like, even if you don't see it.
And even though some of us still act like fucking high schoolers,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say who,
Yeah.
but I mean, come on, guys, just
I'm looking
grow
at
the
you,
fuck
Richard.
up. Huh?
Okay. I'm just kidding.
What?
I'm looking at you, Richard. No.
Yeah, but
no,
man.
yeah, it's definitely.
It's an experience, man.
It is.
It's-
I wouldn't trade it. I would not.
No, I wouldn't.
No matter
change
how
it for
many
the
people
world.
say like, "Yo, having a kid sucks." I mean, it's hard. I'm not gonna say it's not sucky, but it's
So it's the same thing where I'm saying when you looked on the reflection of yourselves, then do you think you're good fathers? Then you would say you did a good. You're doing
like
a good.
Theo said.
you're
it-
doing a good job so far, do you
Like
feel like?
Diego said, it's better. Like definitely better than
How we were
how we were
raised.
raised.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
like to say like I'm the best father in the world, I'm not.
No,
I can tell you right now, I'm not gonna say I'm a good father. I'm better.
you know who the best father in the world is? Bandit
Bandit.
from
That-
Bluey.
he is a real man, though. He's a
tell
real
him
That's
man.
a
all
true
the
dad
time,
right
Like he
there.
makes me feel like a shitty father.
Bro, he's a real man though. That's see,
I feel-
even me that I don't have kids, the way he acts is how a real man acts, and that's what I like about him too.
I feel like Bluey came out just to shit on us. You know?
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Ugh.
damn, I'm never gonna be that father.
Bro, like
Oh, bro, it's hard.
I love how
It's
oh, that's the
hard.
way it is. All right, that's how it is. I'm like over here, like, yeah, damn man, that's some real shit, bro. Yeah.
That's a good show though. I like it. Cook.
So,
Anyways,
Oh man, somebody said this to me one time. It's like when you have your kid, your first kid, especially your first kid, it's like you're growing up with them. And what he means by that is you're learning as he learns.
yeah, because
And
even when you're 50 years old, you're still learning.
yeah,
Okay,
especially
figure.
because like
You're
you still have a whole
I
thing to
think
go
so.
through. You got to go through their teenage years. You got to go through their adult years.
Not
It's
just
like,
with your parent, like with your kids, but also yourself. Like you're still learning, man. That's the way you see life. Like are never gonna perfect anything. You're always gonna be learning something new, whether it is the new trend, I guess, or like
new slang.
the new slang, or something about yourself that you never knew that you had. You're always gonna be learning something. And if you don't consider that, then I feel like you're never gonna
like,
you're never
progress.
You're never
Yeah.
gonna progress.
I mean,
Chris-
that's one of those things too, where like life does give you your own skills because, like I tell everybody, I didn't know how to cook fucking wings and burgers until I worked at Wings. So, now I know how to cook fucking wings.
Because I
and
feel
burgers,
like I
stuff
see that in the older
So,
generation where they're stuck in their ways. And like, oh, that's dumb. Like that's never gonna work. Or
and that's the thing, they hit you with the whole "I don't care," and that's what I hate. I
We'll
hate when they hit
say
you with the "I don't
that's
care."
this is a whole other topic for another day, but religion's actually holding the world back from improving. And we'll talk about that more because I know right now everybody that's going to hear this episode or this part in the episode, when I put it up, and they're going to be like, what do you mean? They're going to get all butthurt because like, oh, I go to church all the time. Like, okay, but listen, like religion has had many times where they slow down progress because they don't accept change.
You know, I just saw like the funniest video about that, where it was like,
Or does it do with the time machine?
no,
Oh,
no,
You see
no.
now, right? Oh yeah, remember the time machine?
no.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it is.
The time
It is.
machine.
It really is. Yeah, you know what it's about.
Yeah,
Then.
there's in the future like, oh my god, and then
Like you guys progressed so much. He's like, what happened?
He's like, the rapture really did
The ra-
happen.
the rapture
Oh,
happened,
the
like,
rapture happened, took away all the Christians, and we were
Yeah.
able to advance.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
what the hell?
And I'm seeing that now. That's what I'm saying. Like,
Oh
you have
man.
to learn about yourself and like be open. Being open-minded is
But
the best
see,
thing that could happen to like to progress
know-
on anything.
and that's
You
what
know
I'm telling
what?
you with the whole like my nephew thing. I want him to learn by himself. So I'd rather just let him go be his own man, and he's gonna learn by himself about how.
Yeah, I'm not gonna tell him like do this, do this, do this, do this.
Yeah.
You know what show?
Basic maybe, but
You know
yeah.
what show keeps ragging on that idea
Yeah.
where that religion slows down society?
Huh.
Castlevania.
Really? I need to
Ah,
watch it.
You need to watch it. But that show straight up says that just religion slows down progress. And it's like, holy crap. Like, sometimes they're right, sometimes they're wrong, but to each their own. I'm not ragging on anybody that goes to church. This is fine if that's what you want to do, but I mean, you got to think about it sometimes. Like, yeah, sometimes the church doesn't allow progress.
It doesn't. I agree.
But
Well-
it's the same thing over and over. Pretty
It
much.
is.
It's the same thing. But,
It's a repeat of every mistake,
yeah.
and they keep doing it.
And
It's
this,
like,
the
yeah.
one thing I always talk about with people is like, I go, the Bible's been the same book. Isn't there new miracles? I honestly, I always put my
That
two
has
cents
to
on the
be in the next conspiracy
like,
theory episode
yeah.
that
I've
we
been
do
seeing that
because
too.
there's
I've been seeing a bunch of pro-life,
yeah.
pro-choice protests,
All right.
and we're like, yeah, God is pro-choice.
Like,
It's-
goddamn, people, throw
it's
Keanu
always
Reeves
like-
in the Bible now. He's done a lot of good shit. Have you read about what Keanu Reeves done?
Well, hold on. It's
Keanu
like this.
Reeves.
Dude,
It's
he's
like
done a
this.
lot.
Like people are like protesting about like pro-choice, like ban abortion and do all this stuff. Like God never killed anybody, and people are like, didn't God just wipe out the whole earth and just gave Noah a boat by himself and his wife? Like he just wiped out the whole world. It's like, I mean,
Yeah, see,
I don't want
so-
to talk right now.
Dude, that has to be a conspiracy
Like
episode.
didn't God tell you to kill your firstborn son?
I think that was a test of faith.
But
It-
people did it.
Oh.
You got.
But that's a whole other
That's a
topic
whole-
for another episode. We can't get into that shit right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, last thing, I guess, for anybody listening to this episode and you're about to be a parent, dude, it is, it's quite an experience. It's a mix of things, scary, exciting, you know, you got a lot of stuff to look forward to. There's going to be a lot of scary moments where, especially like your kid gets sick the first time, you don't know what to do. But just remember, you have family members if they're willing to help you. You got your doctor that you can call 24/7 if they're available. Just don't be afraid to ask questions, because being a parent, especially for the first time, it's the scariest thing.
It is. It is.
And I also want to give thanks to my sister-in-law, Lisette. Thank you for being here the first couple of weeks when Donovan was born. Props to you. Couldn't have done it without you. I don't know. Honestly, we wouldn't have been able to get some sleep or been able to feed ourselves. So, thank you for giving your time. I appreciate you.
Yeah.
You got anything to add, Richard?
I don't know. I really don't have anything, to be honest.
Dude, when you're a parent, when you become a
I
parent,
can't wait till you're a parent.
Oh,
if
dude.
you want to be.
It's weird because there's like so many people I have in mind where I'm like gonna, you know,
so
'cause,
many
like,
people that you have in mind to get pregnant.
No, like people who are gonna be in my life when it happens. I guess whatever. Like, I mean, dude, my cousin Angelica's been there like more than anybody in my life, and like Javier too. But like, when I needed a place to stay here in Indiana, my cousin Angelica took me in, and she's took care of me ever since, and so I became my own thing. So it's like, I appreciate her, but that's why I get so close to my nephew, because I stayed with her during the time, and me and him became a bond. Like, bro, this kid didn't like anime until like I remember, dude. I used to close up the restaurant at nighttime, come home, start watching TV. He'd get up in the middle of the night, be like, "What are you watching?" And I'd be like, "Oh, I'm watching this. Boy, you want to watch with me?" And dude loves Full Metal Alchemist, and that was like the first anime I started watching when I came over here. And now,
Good show.
yeah, so
Which one though, the OVA or the original?
the original.
Oh.
It's because at the time we watched the original, and now this is where one of those things again where the kids are being stubborn. I like the original more because I feel like it was better storytelling.
Yeah.
All right, dude, they went 50 episodes without actually doing much action.
It was still good.
Yeah, and it was still good. There you go.
Yeah, I like
Okay.
both. I like
Now,
both.
here's the part where I'm also being the open-minded part, but the whole not listening thing. I watched the Brotherhood part because people were like, "Oh, see the difference," and I do be
There
honest.
is a difference.
There is a big
but-
difference. There's a lot of action, but this is the thing where I'm reflecting on myself again. I told my nephew, "Hey, if you're bored and you want to do more Fullmetal Alchemist thing, just watch Brotherhood," and he's on that. Nah, that shit looks lame. And that's where I'm like, "Come on, boy,
Give it a shot.
be a little open-minded, like just watch the remake or whatever, blah blah. Supposedly it's more true to the books or whatever, but like honestly, that's what I'm telling you. I have watched both, and I just like the original one because
Dude, episode 13
the building
is
up
always
was
gonna
so
haunt
good
me.
on there.
Wake up, Daddy.
Ugh. Episode 13.
See, that's what I'm saying. The Brotherhood version. That version, when that happened, it wasn't as sad.
It wasn't as.
That's still scary as hell,
The
though.
original version, though,
Oh,
that shit
dude,
was
that
sad
was-
as
That's the
fuck.
first anime I think that
Yeah.
didn't
Freaked
make
me
me
the fuck
cry.
out.
But
Again,
I was like, almost
the
there.
and that was the original anime.
And that
it
was
that
good.
good storytelling.
I
That's why
wasn't even
keep
a
telling
parent
people.
at that time. I
So-
think if I watched it as a parent the first time, I think I would.
The
start
only
fucking
thing I'll tell you
crying.
is Brotherhood, man, the parts of Mustang are crazy as fucking Brotherhood.
Oh,
That
he's
Mustang.
good. Yeah,
I'm over here like, damn! So, like, that shit, see, Brotherhood that, but I just like the original because the story was so
the
deep.
story was
Yeah,
good.
so
There's actually
And
a.
that's where I'm at right now. Like watching the anime is just because like the story's good, but like people are still like, "Oh, Dragon Ball Z is the best anime ever," and I'm like, "It's good
I don't want to hear
as a kid,
Mhm.
but like there's no substance to it. All they do is fight, and that's
And
cool.
Scream.
And Scream.
It takes them 3 episodes to fucking super whatever super
finish
Saiyan
the whole
crap.
battle or whatever.
Man.
But like it
Seems like
I'm
these
not
guys are
saying
missing
it's
the
not a
concept of
bad.
the show, which is the strongest in the universe.
Which I'm not saying it's
Anyways,
the bad show.
Oh, you talking about One Punch Man?
That's the strongest on Earth, if you realize. He hasn't been in space yet.
He
Okay.
hasn't been in space yet.
Yeah,
He fought
Yeah.
somebody from space.
in space. But he wasn't out there by himself.
All right.
But like, that's what I'm saying with progress and keeping
Yeah.
your mind open. Like,
Yeah.
it's a good show, but there's no substance to it.
Yeah.
Again, that's a topic for another fucking podcast.
so-
Anyways.
from
This one's running a
generations
little bit
to
too long. We were
giving
talking
birth
about kids.
to anime. Sorry, but yeah.
Because I know once we open this damn freaking
Fucking
Pandora's box of
box.
anime, everybody's gonna be pissed of our opinions. Because honestly, Dragon Ball Z was good up until
Yeah.
I'm this age.
Until Kid Buu.
Don't worry.
After anything
No.
after Kid Buu.
Don't worry, everybody. I'm still 100 Dragon Ball Z. That's my number one anime of all time. So,
No,
like,
because I feel like everybody had their first anime. So
Yeah.
like, which one introduced you to more anime? Was
it
it
just
DBZ?
like Dragon Ball Z.
See, and
And then
some people.
it's weird because my debate between my 2 seconds has got to be between Bleach and Naruto. It's because I grew up on Naruto, but Bleach had so much where I can was like, man, I'm just like this guy. That was the thing where I can relate it the most to a character. So
Like somebody with Sasuke.
yeah, so
Anyways. It's running a little too long.
Topic
It's
for another
tied up.
day. We'll rag on people's favorite animes.
Maybe
another
that'll be the
time.
next episode. We'll do an anime episode again,
again.
but this time.
See, and I'm also.
I'll be blunt. One last part. I hate One Piece. All right, there you go.
Have you seen it?
You know, I did, and I just was like, ugh, no, I just don't. And then they're making a live action. My problem with that is,
They already made it,
They already made it.
well, here's the issue with that.
and it's actually popular.
And
and
it's
it's-
actually.
But the show's not over. What's the point of making a live action? Where are you gonna stop?
I
with
don't
it?
know, dude. That's like Disney where they're taking all their damn cartoon movies
So-
and making them live.
but
Like
the-
Disney ran out of original ideas, so
Because like they do have a fucking 1,000 episodes they could make ideas from. But what I'm saying here is like, bro, the show's not even over itself. So how would you end the live action?
I don't know, dude. They'll figure something out.
But
The
anyways.
studios do.
All right.
Anyways, actually, bringing it back to kids, I was like, I wonder what my kid's gonna be into when he grows up. Like, what kind of anime shows are there gonna be out now, or
Or
for
if they
him,
even
for
have
his
anime shows at that
generation?
Or it'd be the next thing. This is us when we were young. This shit is ass. You
I was
guys
like,
suck.
But
This is how we bought everything for you guys.
But this is my favorite show, kid. And he's like, well, you had shitty
Yeah,
taste.
shitty
I'm like,
taste.
oh man.
Your guys' audio is garbage.
That's funny though,
How?
because I was watching One Piece, and my kid's like, "Oh, One Piece," and he's like, "I want to be Zoro for Halloween." I'm like, "Oh, okay, we'll get you an outfit." he wants to be Zora for Halloween. So I'm like, all right,
So he can get lost.
Little green hair and whatnot.
That was a good episode.
But yeah.
But
Oh,
yeah.
2 swords too. Yeah.
But no, yeah, it's weird what things get into. But anyways, let's tie this off and you got anything else to add?
Just you're never ready to be a parent. Is all I'm gonna say. You are never ready to be a parent.
And
you
with
can
that-
never save enough money either. You can never save
Never.
enough money to be a
But
parent.
with that, the only thing I want to add to that is, if people tell you that having kids is stupid, don't listen to them. If you want to have kids,
Have them.
have them. Don't
Just
listen,
have 'em.
do not listen to other people's opinions.
And the other part too is
about
like
that.
if you're trying to be a parent and you're saying, or if you're not trying to be a parent, please don't be like my pull-out game strong. Because sometimes that pull-out game be surprising.
Also, to the people that say that they don't want to have kids, that's fine. Go ahead. and
That's
do that.
fine. You do
I'm
you.
not gonna say have kids because
Yeah.
that's not for everybody.
It's like you're technically not really missing out because you're not gonna experience it anyways. So
Yeah, so like I don't really care if you don't have kids. That's fine.
yeah.
That's your lifestyle. Whatever.
But also, don't be a hypocrite and be like, "Oh, Dad, I want a tattoo." I'm like, "No, I can't say that shit."
As
Like,
you're
he wants a
fully
tattoo. I want a
covered.
tattoo.
As you're fully covered.
That's what I'm saying.
If you guys never
Pretty
see my
much.
man here, my man has like wolves on his neck and like his arms are like covered and whatnot.
Yeah,
so.
I got tattoos for days.
So like,
But
this
I'm
man-
not. Again, I'm not gonna tell him no.
But
But anyways,
that's
yeah.
what happens when we have more alcohol in our body.
See, you have better
And I'm a lot
conversations.
more weight, so.
That one's gonna have to be the next podcast. Is like it's better with alcohol. All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Anybody else has anything to add on before we leave?
We're still in studio.
Carlos is already walking
out.
away.
He already walked out the door. Was that his car starting?
He drove off already. Damn.
I can't hold
Well, we did have a tight schedule today.
All right.
Otherwise, it'd be cleaning up a mess.
Oh
This is
God.
POM.
Thanks for tuning in, guys. See ya.